What's up, guys? So, I haven't made a post in a while about the long COVID. So, I wanted to give you guys a quick update. I am going to be approaching month 17 come the new year. So, I think the last video I made was month 14. So, kind of go over the last 2 months, I guess. Still on a non-inflammatory diet, still doing acupuncture. I kind of, I still do supplements here and there, but not as routinely. I kind of stopped chasing all that stuff. I've tapered down on Zoloft, which has made me feel better at times. I Yeah, like here's an example. So it's kind of the same. I saw a functional medicine doctor recently, who's doing a bunch of blood work tests for me, checking for mold, toxicity, and all that kind of stuff too. So I'll see him again in a couple weeks. Hopefully, we'll see where that goes. He seemed to be like talking my language, talking, like spike protein and all that kind of stuff. So, put it this way, he had more knowledge than any primary care doctor I've gone to. But I remember in early December, probably like 3 weeks ago, I had to go to a friend's Christmas party, a couple close friends of ours. And I woke up that day and I was super depressed. Like, I was literally crying again to my wife. I'm like, dude, I don't know if I'm gonna beat this. Like, this is just too much. I was having really bad intrusive thoughts again. Not, and again, like when you say that to people and they're like, oh, well, everyone thinks like that. No, I never thought like that. I love life. I'm just like, yeah, this is just like really intense, dude. Like, this is not something I'm choosing to do. And it's like I can't control it. Like, the people with long COVID get it. So, anyway, I was wicked depressed. And I was like, all right, I'll go to the Christmas parties. When I went there, I was like, okay. I realized that I actually had some hope, because I was like, I went to that same party a year ago and I was super messed up. I was like hallucinating. And I was like, okay, it's not as bad as it was back then. And I felt more normal. And for the next 5 days, like, I felt pretty good. I was like, wow, I might have kicked this. Like, I think it kind of just gave me hope. And then I started, I didn't want to, I kept saying, I don't want to jinx it, but I feel really good. Of course, after 5 days, I started kind of slipping back a little bit. And then that following week, I started TMS therapy, transcranial magnetic stimulation, to help with the depression, the anxiety. There's some studies saying it can lift the brain fog of long COVID and all this. And I'm like, okay, like maybe this will do something here. But yeah, that's been going good. I mean, it's still a little up and down. Like, I just had my 5th session today and I felt pretty good after. It's just like, I don't, it's kind of like the derealization thing to me. Like, yeah, it's gotten better. Like, yeah, I can play a video game now and like it looks normal. I can watch football and it doesn't look like I'm on acid. But like sometimes like commercials or like just looking at the world just looks like flat to me or something. Like, I'll just look around and I'm like, okay, like this like I'm definitely still in a depressed state, or like fight or flight, or I don't know. I don't have panic attacks, but not like I used to. But I don't know, man. It's just weird. Like it's kind of like just like I'm like just still feel like I mean I've definitely progressed, but like people still look weird to me sometimes, and I'll just be like, I'm kind of at this state now where I'm like, okay, I don't think I'm actually dying from this, and I'll like, but I have to like confidently be like, hey, you can go here and go to the store, and you're fine, and I do. And it's almost like I'm like always kind of like amazed and surprised that I'm like still alive, and it's like, okay, I'm still alive. Like it's it's so hard to explain unless you go through it. But man, if I could get rid of one symptom, like the derealization, like if life just looked normal to me, and like I always say, like, this sounds crazy, and I say to people like, I always say it's like, hey, I can like see evolution, like it like unlocks some weird part of my brain where like that's the best way I can describe it. Like I'll just look at people and be like, oh my god, they're just like an evolved being with a brain, like with bones moving around, like really bizarre shit that normal people don't think about. And the only reason I know I'm not crazy is because other people tell me that they deal with that too. So my theory is that like I think the virus puts us back in like some part of the brain, like probably that fight or flight part of the brain, and I'm like, maybe that's why like things like are looking weird to me. Like some people talk about the lizard brain or something. I'm like, all right, if I can just get back to like the frontal lobe, like I think I'll be all right. You know what I mean? But I don't know, man. It's weird. I'm hopeful like months 17 and 18, I start to come out of it even more. You know, I read a lot of recovery stories like, oh, 18 months, 2 years. But the thing is, nobody really knows. You know, it's like that's the thing. I walk around and I'm like, I still have pot symptoms. I'll still get my heart rate will increase. And I'm like, dude, it's like, hey, you never know. It's like, hey, is this actually going to kill me? Like, you read about some people. I mean, this isn't common. This is not common. But I did read a story about a 37-year-old guy. He had long COVID 4 years. God rest his soul. He passed away in his sleep. He had multiple organ failure. And I'm like, fuck. Like, you know, you don't know. Like, you know, I do think the majority of people will recover. And who knows, like, I don't know that guy and his story, whether he got a vaccine or not, whether, you know, I've had all these blood work tests and echocardiograms and all this shit, and it's always like, comes back good. So I'm like, all right, that's good. But, like, to be honest with you, like I'm just bored. I'm bored. Like I'm optimistic, and I'll say like physically I do feel better. Like if there's one thing that gives me hope, I look back to how fatigued I was 16 months ago. Like literally couldn't even walk to my wife's car, and now like like I feel like my legs are my legs again. If that makes sense. Like I can walk around and like. I'm like, oh, cool. Like my legs are back. Like, I don't know. It's like I do have energy again, but I'm still taking it easy. Yeah, it's just crazy, man. It's like, I've kind of got to the point where I'm like, I'm on medical leave from work because I got to do that TMS thing for 6 weeks, and I'm just resting, and I'm like, okay. But like it's so boring. Like it's so boring chasing this, you know. It's like, hey, I want to be able to just like all of us do. I just want to like, it's like that. You just feel so close all the time. Like just click something in my head. Like boom, I'm back. Like, oh, hey, it's Monday. There's no reason to bug out anymore. Like, but yeah, I'm still trucking along. God willing, grateful to be here. Very blessed. I pray all the time. My wife got me a portable infrared sauna for Christmas, so I'm gonna try doing that and see where that takes me. But yeah, it's scary. It's like you have to face this journey head on, and like for a lot of us that have gone through this, like what, it was the first time in my life where I like thought like, holy shit, I might actually die in a second. When this first happened, like these panic, and then you tell people that like, oh, I get panic attacks all the time. I'm like, no, this isn't a panic attack. This is like whatever it is, that nervous system on fire, inflammation bullshit. Like, I don't know, but luckily I don't get those anymore. I had one over the summer, but I don't get them anymore. But it's like, man, I just want to be like, hey, I'm 36. You know, I know, listen, and I know it could be worse. I know life happens, shitty things happens, but I'm like, man, I got 2 little kids. I'm just trying to feel normal, raise them while I'm here. Like, I want to be able to go to a buddy's house and just be like, oh, let's chill, watch the game, drink a beer. Like, I'll go home after, and not be like, I don't know what that's like anymore. It's like you're just stuck in like Groundhog's Day, you know? But I do believe in full recovery. I'll keep you guys posted after I see the functional medicine doctor, see what those blood results say. He actually put me on some immune supplement, which I got lazy and didn't even start it, but I'll start it tomorrow. But yeah, hang in there, guys. If anybody has any updates or any solutions to their stuff, feel free to share. God bless. Praying for us all. Hope everybody's recovering.